Once again, this is Monster Island.
So what you see here, I basically detached the camera from the character, zoomed way, way, way up in the sky, just kind of show you like an overhead view of Monster Island. I mean, this is a gigantic zone. All of this, that's just one neighborhood. There's another neighborhood. I mean, this is a massive, massive location. The little effects you see are ash falling. The volcano is our zone event, and so periodically the volcano will erupt and it will spew down like giant flaming boulders on the whole zone.
Random damage counters?
Not necessarily that. We're looking at things like people have. Oh, let me get the mouse out of the way. You know, people have mentioned that they'd like to, you know, like save people in distress or things like that. So we've already got natural disasters in with this volcano eruption. So we're looking at things like, well, what if we had to save some friendly people, you know, some friends or some friendly animals from, you know, like they're burning buildings or, you know, make you feel more heroic. So anyway, I'm gonna roll on over here to. No, this is I've detached the camera from the character. I'm not flying. So this is the Wayfarer Coast, where the alien Kular have landed a bunch of ships, as you can see here. The giant monster Megaterak roams this area, so I'm going to see if I can find him for you. So as you can see, oh, I dropped right on top of him. There he is.
Nice. Okay,
so,
attention.
Yeah. So it's worth noting that the reason most of the monsters aren't attacking people in the videos is because the characters are very, very high level in relation to the monsters. As you can see here from the massive spam of numbers coming off my head, I should be dead by now. This character is invincible. And so what you see here is when you're held, all your powers change to break free, and the more you button mash, you break free faster. Yes.
Stop.
Yeah, Megaterak is designed for 5 heroes of, I believe it's level 35
nice block.
To fight. So, as you can see here, as I'm blocking, my endurance is increasing. And he's charging up for a big ability. That's his tell, so you know that a big attack is coming.
Stay together, please. We'll both come over here.
So, he's about to do it again. Yeah, so I would be very dead right now if I wasn't invincible. But we fought him before back in the office with 5 people, and it's a really fun fight. So, and then of course,
like a bag of hit points type of deal, like in the other game, right?
No, so that's something we've specifically attempted to avoid. So, like for instance, in the other game of which we will not speak, there is, for instance, you know, if you group up with like 7 people and you go into a random cave number 5, if you have a large team, it is literally just filled with weenies, right? It's just wall-to-wall minions, and they're just little tiny bags of hit points that just slow you down. Well, instead of doing that this time, well, I should say that originally we were trying that, and it was kind of like, well, this isn't exactly so fun. It's So what we do now is every critter, as Jack was saying earlier, has a shtick, which is some pattern, some tell, something that you know, like, oh, this guy's glowing red, he's about to attack, or this guy's glowing green, he's healing himself, and they all have wind-ups, not necessarily quite as long as that, but the general idea is we want people to think tactically about fights, but not get bogged down in tactics. So kind of once you realize what, you know, the big red glow, or, you know, the guy's rearing up to hit you, once you realize what that means, then you can counter it. So here he's jumping up and I'm blocking. You know, if I had a full team, we would have people attacking on the other side, and you know, we'd be using strategy to defeat him instead of just standing here blocking. But
you still took damage from that block, right? Through the block?
Yes, blocking reduces damage, it does not negate damage. But since blocking increases your endurance, it is possible to simply block and then heal yourself if you have self-healing power, or somebody else heal you, or I mean, there's any number of ways to compensate. I mean, also, I don't think this character's fast enough, but it's also possible if you're, if you have super speed or something, just run out of the way.
That is a giant monster.
So let me just show you. Oops, I'm going hell. Let me show you guys one last thing before we turn off the camera again, and that is flight.
Oh, he's flying! Sweet.
So as you can see, the animations are still in progress, but there's nothing preventing you from flying and raining destruction from above.
One of the questions was whether or not your travel powers used endurance.
Oh! Yeah,
I don't recall the answer.
No, they do not. Travel powers do not use endurance. Instead, what happens is, so you see, I don't know if the camera can capture it, but right here we have these little white pips. That is your equilibrium point. Your endurance will always refill to your equilibrium point, or decay to your equilibrium point over time. The decay is a little bit slower than the charge up. But the idea is that you have three basic types of attacks. You have a light attack, such as this punch, or these kinetic bolts, that increases your endurance. And then once you get your endurance to a certain point, it unlocks the ability to use your more powerful attacks like these micro munitions right here. As you can see, they're ghosted out now. But if I go and if I don't get held all the time. But if I swing on them a bit, build up my endurance, now they're unlocked again, and I can go use my shoulder-mounted minigun.
Sweet. Can you draw those swords?
Those are just a costume piece. Okay. We do have the tech for persistent on-character things like swords and guns and stuff. It's probably going to be an option to turn it on or turn it off, so you can have it be more like the previous games we've done, or more like other games you may have played. It's not actively in the game at this point, though we do have the tech. So, as you can also see, blocking prevents the giant knockback associated with that, so it also has other benefits. As for the endurance question, when you're using travel powers, your equilibrium point drops to 0. Okay. So, simply what that means is that you can no longer automatically refill some endurance. So if you're flying around and you see something you want to fight, you're not going to be able to open up with like a medium power. You're going to have to fire your light powers to build up your endurance. And so this basically, is just a mechanic to prevent you from alpha striking from the sky or something like that. But it's not like, CO